Hello, hello. Hi, YouTube. Happy Friday. How are you doing today? I wanted to come on here on the Elevate Your Life series and speak to one specific thing that happens in competent, faithful women who are leaders typically. And even if you're not an actual leader in your career, you have leadership qualities. You are a born leader. There's a thing I have to name because God named it for me and He gave me revelation on it. So I want to name it for you because I know that revelation was not just for me. It could very well be for you as well. So you're competent. You're faithful. You wake up and your life is good. Like there's not catastrophes around you, even though there's stuff going on, because sometimes chaos is just chaos. It's the world that we live in. But I'm talking specifically about you look around and you are quite satisfied with your life. You wake up, you have worked to create a good life for yourself, but yet something feels off. You're not depressed. You don't have full-blown anxiety, panic attacks. You're not burned out. You're not completely over it, but something is off. And I want to name that off feeling for you today because it very well could resonate for you. And we're going to flick that off to and on today if you stay with me. So welcome to my channel. If you are new here, by the way, my name's Alicia Bradley, and we've been doing this YouTube thing for a while. We've evolved over time, but now in this season, we're in a place where I'm going live just once a week through the Elevate Your Life series, speaking specifically to women who are women of God, who love God so much, who are natural born leaders, women who know that they are called to function as the top 1% in society. Women that are called to have dominion and authority in their lives. So that's why I make these videos for those specific women. So these videos may not go viral. They may, hey, totally can. But I know I'm speaking to a very narrow portion of society, narrow portion of women who know they're called for dominion. The woman who knows, she hears the echo of God's command to the first humans ever existing. And He told them to be fruitful, multiply, take dominion, and subdue the earth, to make the earth subject to them. You hear that echo in your spirit. You've never forgotten it. It's in your DNA. That's the woman I'm talking about today. So if you are her, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Let's have this conversation. I'm going to be reading my notes here. So again, you're not depressed. You're not anxious. You're not fully burned out, but something feels a bit off and you can't put your finger on it. This could very well be for you. And it may feel strange. I'm sorry. What happened? My notes. Yes. Let's go all the way down. I closed out the note and then I tried to open it and then it took me, yes. Because this is the thing. It feels strange because as the day goes, that feeling fades. The feeling isn't there anymore. But it's a subtle off feeling when you wake up. When you wake up and it's like, ugh. And the way that you get out of it is you just start your day. It's such a subtle whisper. It's a subtle whisper. But in the stillness of you waking up, the stillness of the morning, when everything is quiet, when it's just you and you and you feel it. You feel it. But the moment you get up, it's gone because your life is good. Your life is good. And so there's nothing truly to complain about, but you still sense it. And then it may peek out just a little bit here and there throughout the day, but it really shows up in the morning time. Let me know if you have felt this before. And you could be a man as well. I'm not just speaking only to women because I know men gravitate to this channel as well. No matter who you are, do you sense this? I want to speak to it today because this could be for you. It's something that I have identified as this. It's an existential jet lag. And I'm going to talk about what I mean by an existential jet lag and why it shows up specifically in high capacity individuals of faith. There's something going on, especially in leaders. Because if you carry responsibility for others, whether it be teams, children, resources, institutions, you might sense this existential jet lag. So let's name it. It's hard to explain because I believe this thing exists below language. It exists below the nervous system. It really exists in a very quiet place in our being. So it exists below what words can actually create to explain it. Because even existential jet lag doesn't necessarily capture it all the way, but it's the best I could do with what I got. Because it's not an emotional thing, it's not a cognitive thing, it's not a logistical issue, it's not a mental disorder. It is a positional thing. It's a positional thing. It happens when you are mispositioned. And I'll talk about what that means. So it's like, how do I explain it? You may have felt like you have arrived at a point in your life. And again, you haven't arrived all the way, like all the way to the peak. I'm not speaking of that. But I am saying you've probably arrived to places that you never thought you could. If you are here with me today watching this video, maybe you went through tons of trauma, betrayal, heartbreak, failures, and you've tried, and then you continue to stumble, but yet you've made it here now. Look at what you've accomplished. You did it. You did that. And you may say, okay, well, yeah, but I'm not exactly where I want to be. I bet you are goals to many people. I bet you when people look at you, they're like, okay, they did that. So I understand we got to get out of our head a little bit for this conversation, because you could always have the rebuttal of, yeah, but I want to be here. Yeah, but I should be here. Yeah, but let's think about all the things you've been through. Okay. And you've made it here. You've made it here. But this is the thing. This is the below the language, below the nervous system thing. This is such a spiritual, soul level thing that's happening, because you may have gotten to this specific destination right now, but your body hasn't necessarily caught up to where you have arrived now. And I know you've arrived in a very beautiful place, because if you came to this channel and you're actually attracted to this channel, we talk about God. We talk about God in ways that it requires you to have a level of surrender to God and trust in God to be able to actually receive the information on this channel. So the fact that you've made it here, we've made it to a very special place. Like, let's not minimize where you are, where we are right now, being able to relate and have this conversation today. And this is the thing. Your body may not have caught up to it. Existential jet lag. You know, if you were to travel somewhere, China, Beijing, if you were to go to Beijing right now and you're in the States, you've arrived at the destination, but your body's still catching up to the time zone shift. This happens, and I don't necessarily hear many people talking about it. So we're going to talk about it today. Yes, we are. But I want to read a couple comments, because last time I didn't get to any comments. Hi, Mr. Demetrius. How are you? I appreciate you giving. Look, it's not just for women. It's for men too. So you can stay if you like, Mr. Demetrius. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, okay. Or not. I'm going to keep going. And so, yes. So others may experience you as grounded, as completely anchored, as someone who knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about. But again, you may feel unanchored. You may not sense the thing that other people sense about you. It's really interesting. Okay. So again, this isn't dysfunction. It's not an emotional issue. It's not a mental issue. It's a dislocation. And I'm going to keep going deeper and deeper into the layers of what I'm talking about. It's a dislocation. So high capacity individuals, high capacity women, we often override this feeling because we can function through it because it's not that big of a deal. It's not a danger. It's not full-blown anxiety that's debilitating us. It's not depression that's slowing us down. It's not an immediate threat. So we can override this little feeling that we feel. And again, usually this feeling shows up the moment you wake up into this world. You feel the existential jet lag. We can work through it. And so it kind of bypasses in the system and then we don't feel it anymore. But again, it peaks up sometimes. It's so interesting. It really is. So this is where we need to name this thing and slow all the way down today to actually name it so that you can see what it is to erase it. It does not have to be here. This thing can be gone. John 14:2 says, in my Father's house, there are many dwelling places. And we talked about this in the last video. Beautiful revelation about that. So check that out if you'd like to. In my Father's house, there are many dwelling places. And then John 15:4, it says, abide in me. And so Jesus was saying, in my Father's house, there's many mansions. Another version is many dwelling places. And I will make a home for you and you will live with me and I will live with you. And then ultimately, later on in John 15:4, it talks about what living in these mansions actually means. It means abiding. And the word mansion in the Greek translates to mone, which means to abide. So when I talk about dislocation and not being fully located, not only in your spirit, but in your body, in this dwelling place, in this mansion with God, this is what I'm talking about. There's a difference between having arrived there in the spirit, but has your body caught up to it? Because if you're waking up and you're feeling this little sense that something is a little off, and again, it's not full depression, but it does bring a sense of like incompleteness. This very well could be the thing. It's time to catch your body up, which means your nervous system up with this dwelling place that your spirit has already arrived in. And so the language Jesus uses in John 14, it doesn't describe access to the mansion. It's not like you have to do anything special to access his Father's many mansions in the spirit. This happens the moment you're saved. You've inherited it. There's many mansions, there's many abiding places you have inherited in the kingdom the moment you get saved. So he's not describing access, he's describing location. There is a location that you can find yourself in your mind, body, and spirit all together that will bring a level of coherence so that when you wake up, you're not feeling off anymore. You're feeling like you've arrived to the destination. No more existential jet lag. Your body has caught up with the location and the time zone that God's invited you into and that you have access to because of your salvation. It's beautiful because many believers have access to God, but they're not located in Him. They're not located in Him. Again, it's the analogy of traveling to China. There's a difference between traveling there and needing to get a hotel because that's not your home. So not only are you experiencing jet lag, the time zone is different, your body's not caught up, but on top of that, you're still transient in that location because you don't own a home there. So you're still like paying for a hotel knowing that you're going to soon leave. This is how many people treat these abiding places, these mansions that God has invited them into. They treat it and they don't know it. Again, this is below language. Many people do not put words to this. They don't name what it is. So we're doing this not knowing that we're doing it. Like, this is not a sin. This is something that until you name it, you don't know that you're not doing this. Imagine God said, you have an inheritance of a mansion in this location, in the kingdom of heaven, where I reside. And you can reside with me, and I will reside with you. You can abide here. But you subconsciously treat it like it's just a vacation destination. So you go there, you experience the jet lag, you stay there like it's a hotel, and then you leave, and you're still transient. So that's not truly abiding there. So many Christians are doing this. And I have not heard one person put a name to this. They probably have in different ways, because nothing is new under the sun. This is new for me, though. It was a new revelation for me that I know God wanted to share with you today. So again, we can lead things. We can lead businesses. If you're in leadership, you can lead ministries, businesses. You can steward influence. And this is the thing. You can be so connected to God. You could pray every day. You can have all the faith in the world and be stewarding the things that he told you to lead. And you can still be internally homeless. You can be internally transient, not fully having settled in the home that God has invited you into. Just because we have faith does not mean we have claimed the home that God has gifted us as an inheritance. And the Holy Spirit showed me a very vivid visual. So I see it as the many mansions that God mentions. He showed me many mansions in the spirit realm. There were so many. He showed me which ones I have access to, that he's personalized for me, and he's done it for all of us. So then I walked into multiple of them, but one in particular, there were all of these rooms, these personalized rooms for the things that I love to do, my passions. There were even rooms. It was so beautiful. There were rooms. It's hard to explain. How do I put it into words? All of the love that God has poured into my life through individuals like my family members, friends, colleagues. One of these rooms was just dedicated to soaking up the love from all of the people on earth that God has sent to love me. And it was this golden swirling light around the room. And I stepped in it. It was like a tornado around me, just filling me up with love. And I just abided in that. Because God's love is real, as you know, and he works through other people to love you. And no, they're not perfect like he is, but their love matters. So there was a room with all of the love from the people on earth that I had kind of took for granted. In that moment, I had the revelation on, oh my goodness, there's so many people that have shown me love in this earth. It's so easy to feel unloved and forgotten, right? So all this to say, we can know logically and cognitively that God has taken us on as his children, has adopted us, and has given us a dwelling place to be with him. But if you don't catch the revelation around, you can still be transient and homeless in the spirit, even if you're saved, even if you know you are God's child. The moment you catch the revelation, it merges it together. And I promise you, it will completely recalibrate your nervous system. Because imagine if you're transient and you don't have a home to call your own. Your nervous system is in survival mode, and it translates into your biology on Earth. It translates into sickness. Imagine knowing you have a dwelling place, not only a dwelling place, but many mansions that were custom designed for you. You have no needs. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to worry. He also showed me that outside of these mansions was a jungle. So he showed me what the world looks like in the spirit, at least the interpretation he allowed me to see. And outside of these mansions, stepping into the world, was a concrete jungle. A concrete jungle. So not only without this revelation are we transient, but now we are exposed to this jungle with no protection. That's wrong. I'm sorry. Correct myself. Sorry. We have protection because God is always protecting us. If we're saved, we always have protection. But I mean, your body interprets it as no protection when you're in a jungle, right? Your body will read it as danger, 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 and it will impact your nervous system. It's crazy. Hi, Kim14444. How are you? So good to see you. From Sweden, Katrina. So happy to see you from Sweden. Hi, I'm Suantak. I'm so sorry. I'm glad you all are here. Ignoring some of these interesting comments, but the others are beautiful. God bless you all for being here, and I hope this is resonating with you a little bit. So, let's be so clear. Being saved is not the same as being settled in your inherited mansion in the spirit. Saved is not settled. That's why we see a lot of saved Christians. You may be one of them. That every day you don't feel settled. Something feels off. You may not be in full-blown survival mode, but you may wake up and feel like something isn't fully settled. I used to have this feeling when I would wake up. And again, it wouldn't make me cry. It wasn't extreme sadness. It wasn't depression. It was this subtle feeling of like, oh, I don't even know the word to put. There's no word. It was a subtle feeling of like, I'm alone, but I know I'm not alone. I'm sad, but I have no reason to be sad. So I'm not fully sad. And I just don't feel, there's no word to put. I don't know the word. You may feel it. You may know what I'm talking about. And again, when you wake up and you just start your day, you drink your coffee, you get in the shower, you start getting it together, it fades quickly. It does not linger long. And I truly believe this is the thing. We can put these words to it if this resonates with you. So let's talk about this visitor energy like I talked about before. You may be visiting your father's mansion that he has given you as an inheritance. You may be visiting it, coming in, saying hi, staying a couple nights, but then you go back into the jungle of the world. You may not dwell there. Okay, so there's visitor versus dweller. And today, I pray to God, if you receive this revelation, you shift immediately from a visitor to a dweller. Because the way the revelation worked for me, it was an immediate thing. It was immediate. It changed everything. And then the days following it, it was like God was working in my nervous system. He literally recalibrated my whole nervous system. And I won't get into all the ways it happened, but it was so miraculous. Like I would have never been able to put this together on my own, ever. No counselor, no therapist, no neuroscientist, nobody could be able to say, once you receive this revelation and you switch from a visitor to a dweller, abiding in God's inherited mansion, Once you do that, your entire biology will change, and it's going to happen in ways that you can't. So I pray that you receive it. I really do. It changes everything. So visitors, they scan things, right? They adjust themselves to the room because it's not their room. So they're adapting to the room that isn't their room. Visitors stay alert because they're like, okay, well, this isn't my home. So I don't know if the security system's set up. I don't know if the locks work. I don't know. So let me, like, you can sleep, but you can't, like, oh, you know what I mean? But dwellers, they rest, they trust. Their entire biology is settled. Functioning as a visitor in the spirit, you're asking, am I allowed here? Am I allowed to stay here? Am I welcomed? Let me know if you're tired of me and I'll leave. Dwellers say, oh, this is my home. I'm going to personalize it to be my home. It's my home. I'm the one that lets in visitors if I feel like it. Totally different orientation. So this is when the shift happens and nothing externally changes. It's all internally. It's all in your soul and in your spirit. It does not require anything. It doesn't require a strategy. It doesn't require anything except you saying, God, I noticed I've been living as a transient, homeless person when you have given me this inheritance to dwell with you. I've been functioning in survival when I don't have to. I get to abide and rest and dwell in your home. I personally repented for living as a transient, homeless individual in the spirit. I didn't know I was doing it until I did. And I was like, oh my, I am so sorry, God. I repent because it goes against his word. It's not a sin, but if you acknowledge it, it is a rejection of his invitation. So are you done rejecting his invitation for you to dwell in his mansion that he personalized for you so that he can dwell with you? This changes everything. It changes the way you're operating. It changes everything. Mm. And so in leadership, by the way, if you are in leadership in any way, if you are leading resources, if you are leading people, if you are leading children, a household, whatever, your leadership style completely changes. Leaders who are unhoused in their soul are completely different leaders from those who are housed. And let's talk about how that shows up. Because to me, it manifests as someone who orbits other people versus being the one who the earth and others are orbiting because they're housed. There's literally a gravitational shifting happening. Let's talk about it. So when I say the word orbit, by the way, we're not talking about law of attraction. We're not talking about ego. We're not talking about pride. This is how God's grace and favor happens. He will literally shift the earth, shift the universe to start orbiting you because you're housed in him. So no one's necessarily orbiting you. Opportunities are not orbiting you. Money's not orbiting you and being attracted to you. It's orbiting God, but you're dwelling in God. So by default, the gravitational pull is being pulled towards you now. So you may feel like you're not really seeing much favor. Like opportunities are not landing in your space. Like you may be reaching out to people, but they don't, it's like they're not sensing the value you bring. This could be in job opportunities. You may be going to interviews. They're not sensing your value. And it goes to somebody else. And you just feel like, you know what? I know I'm favored and blessed in God. Why is it not manifesting? Why am I not actually seeing a manifestation of God's favor on my life? I promise you, this is probably why. This is a reorganization. Okay. Again, it's not ego. It's not pride. It's not like everybody, the universe surrounds me. We're not doing any of that nonsense. It's just about order and organization, a reordering of how things should have been in the first place the moment you got saved. We're going to get there now. Because when there's no center, everything floats around, right? When there's no center, things do not gravitationally pull towards anything. But when there's a center, things are organized around that center and they start to pull towards the center. This is where law of attraction came from, I'm sure. This is where the metaphysical conversation, the new age conversation of law of attraction, it came from this. And people are utilizing it, but in an ungodly way. They're not understanding that God should be the center, but quantum physics wise, scientifically, it works just the same. If someone goes around saying, I'm the center of the universe, I am the center, I'm grounded in myself and my power, guess what? The earth's going to respond to that too. It just will. It won't last. Let's be clear. It won't last because it's not eternally true. When you're grounding yourself in a mortal body through pride, through arrogance, through the need for attention, through the need for power, that always dies off because the mortal body dies. So let's be very clear. That type of orbiting and law of attraction stuff fades quickly. It can't last. But the thing with God is he is eternal. It's everlasting. So when we can orient to, if God is my center and I'm centered in his home and I'm dwelling and abiding in him, then yeah, there will be an eternal favor that comes to you. And I promise you, quantum physics, it will manifest through quantum physics. Things will literally gravitate to you. Opportunities, destiny helpers, money, all the things, relationships, attention that you're not even asking for. All of a sudden, people are going to be like, let me reach out to so-and-so. They're just going to start thinking about you. It's the way God set up this universe is truly just, it's mind blowing. It's phenomenal how it works, but this is how it works. So God is the center, right? And when we're stabilizing in God, your life is no longer orbiting outward. I hope you catch it. I hope you catch this. When you are unhoused in the spirit, your attention is orbiting other people, opportunities. It's orbiting others for provision, for favor, for attention. You're subconsciously doing it, but you're doing it because there's no center. This is what people will call being a chaser, right? It's an icky term, but when we are orbiting other things to find safety, to find provision, to find favor, that thing becomes a center. And we are literally repelling the favor that God has already ordained for you to have. It's already, the favor and the grace and the blessings are already yours. You're saved. It's your inheritance. End of story. There's a period there. There is no, but maybe not. No, you're saved. But if you continue to be unhoused and orbit others, you're not going to see the favor and grace. You're just not. So when your life is no longer orbiting outward, searching for safety, provision, or permission, and you stop chasing that type of alignment, once you recenter, alignment finds you. Provision finds you. Safety finds you. Opportunities find you. How this manifests is things just feel clear. Things feel a lot more simple. They feel a lot more safe. Things just flow. And I'm living it right now, and I won't even get into details, but I'm telling you, When I say things flow, I mean things flow. You may be thinking, okay, well, if I do this work, or if I do this business, or if I sell this product, then provision will flow. But that's not how God works. Like your work and your diligence obviously will produce income and wealth. But provision is different. It's like the the monetary compensation of your diligent work and your labor, the way I see it is separate. I used to see it as the same thing. It's separate from the provision that's already established. The provision is here. So the provision can feel random. It could come through random people, random glitches in certain systems, random opportunity, like random gifts, donations, random checks in the mail. I'm telling you, provision is separate from your work. Provision sustains you every day. It's a non-negotiable. To God, it's a non-negotiable. He told you straight up, why are you worrying about what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, where you're going to sleep? Don't I take care of the birds in the sky and the lilies on the field? Why would I not take care of you? Why would I not take care of you every single day? You don't need to worry about anything. But the way we're set up and conditioned and programmed in this world is my provision comes when I work. My provision comes when I put effort. My provision comes when I clock in. That's not how God thinks. So the moment you can center yourself in this experience, provision will just show up. Your work is just extra. Whoo. Yes, amen. Oh, that's a good. Kim, is it Kimon or is it Kim 1? I'm going to call you Kim. Kim says we need to be more focused on keeping our temple and our mansion holy. Absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up. Keeping our body holy. Yeah, that's a big deal. We need to be doing that. So there are expectations from God. The more holy you can be, the more clean and pure you are, the easier it is for you to receive this. Absolutely. And not needing perfection. God knows the things you're struggling with. So I'm not here to condemn anybody because there's no condemnation in Christ. I'm also not here to excuse you. Okay, there's a difference. We're not here to condemn, but we're not here to excuse. The moment you get a revelation, the moment you get the nudge, the moment you get the conviction to change a habit, I encourage you to do it. Because that's literally the Holy Spirit telling you, you know what? If you get rid of this thing that you're doing in your life, I can move through you easier. You can dwell in me easier. It's very hard. That's a great point, Kim, because it's very hard to dwell with God. Because imagine God's mansions and his many dwelling places being so holy and so pure and so light-filled. And if we're coming to him and we are engaging in contaminating activities, it's like the frequency they don't mix. It's like oil and water. You can try to access and dwell in this space, but literally your biology you'll be repelled by it because the light might be too potent. So we definitely want to keep that in mind. The more you shed the things of the world, the easier it is for you to abide in God's dwelling that he already has given you. It's sitting there waiting for you, by the way. There is no let me work to get access to it. You have access to it, but how easy will it be for you to abide in it and stay in it? That's the thing. That's how I interpret it. You've been authorized. You have access because you're saved. But it's like going into what's an example? Yeah. Like imagine you're living in a dark place for years, and then all of a sudden You're invited to this place where the windows, there's no walls. It's just all brightness. Like you're going to be blinded and you're going to want to crawl back into your little basement because it's just too, yeah. That reminds me, I saw this documentary about mole people. They call them mole people that live underground in different cities. And then I watched a movie which was based on a true story. This is such a random tangent, but the movie, the child was born down underground in these underground tunnels because they were homeless. And the child was born down there and she had never saw the light, the daytime light. She had never been exposed to it. So the whole entire movie was about this mom finally getting her out of the underground tunnel system. And the child could not take it. It was crazy. Like the child was having it wasn't seizures, but she just could not take the light. And then she couldn't take the movement of the city because she wasn't used to seeing people in daylight. She wasn't used to being talked to by so many people and hearing the noises and all of the activity. She was overstimulated. So that's how I envision what you're saying, Kim. Okay, so yeah, this life in this dwelling place, it's just easier. It just is. You can hold boundaries easier. You can make decisions more clearly. You can move more freely in your life and not feel like you have to force things. You have to push. How many times have you been in a situation where you're trying to communicate with somebody about something basic, like if it's work stuff, and you're just trying to email them and they're not getting it and they're not receiving it, or it's not going through, or there's all this resistance. The way I've experienced this experience is that things are just fluid, and the things that are not meant to be in your life, literally, they just leave. It's not like this huge struggle and all this resistance and tension you have to deal with people, drama. A lot of that fades because order has happened. So as you're no longer orbiting other people and the right things are orbiting you because you're grounded in God, the wrong things are likely to not orbit you. Okay, the enemy still works and he's still trying to come in and interfere. So we're not going to discount that, but it's different. You can clearly see when the enemy's at work and right, things are just cleaner. That's all I can say. They're just cleaner and easier to deal with. They really are. So yeah, so this is what people are talking about when they talk about the law of attraction, magnetism, manifesting things to you and in your life. All of that new age language is the same concept. But again, that's fleeting and it dissolves because it's not grounded in eternal truth. But these people are noticing the real effect of when they choose to be the center. Again, that's wrong, okay? We are not the center. God's the center. But the New Age realm, they make themselves the center because they don't know any better. They know not what they're doing. So they're like, look, I'm the center of my universe and people will orbit me. And it works for them. It's the wrong source. But again, this law of gravity, it works because they've reoriented themselves to be the center. So the difference between law of attraction and this biblical model we're talking about today is the law of attraction is desire-based, is self-based, it's power-based. It's solely based on the flesh's desires. This biblical model is based in abiding in God. Abiding in God. And then favor, grace, things just start attracting to you. It's crazy. And we know this because John 15:5 says, apart from me, you can do nothing. So let's be so clear on that. We can try all day and it might work a little bit, but it won't last. Mm. Think about a tree, right? Think about a tree being rooted in the ground and how the fruit sprouts from the tree, from the branches of the tree. Same thing. It's not like the fruit on that tree just floated towards the tree without being rooted, right? It didn't work. It's like the tree was grounded, rooted, and then the fruit came out of the tree. That's an even better analogy because I know I'm talking about orbiting, and there is a like the law of gravity is serious. It's real. That happens too. Opportunities and everything orbit. But now let's unveil the layer of what's really happening. Because yes, grace and favor is happening, but it's just the fruit of you being rooted in God. It's the fruit, and the fruit's just sprouting. So in the physical realm, in the physical world, it does look like things are orbiting you and being attracted to you and just kind of floating towards you. But what's really truly happening is that you are planted. You are planted in God. It's so beautiful. It really is. And this is how you know a shift is happening, when you can truly receive this and choose to abide in God's dwelling that He has waiting for you. You will move a lot slower. You'll just move slower. You won't be rushed for anything. You will really feel like, what's wrong with me? Am I getting old? Like, why am I moving slow? That's not what's happening. You just don't feel rushed because you're rooted, you're grounded, you're safe, you're secure, you are centered. You don't need to rush to get somewhere because guess what? You know internally, spiritually, things move towards you. So you don't have to run towards them. It's just how it is. You say less. You start to talk a lot less. Maybe before you had all these opinions and all these things to say, and now you don't have much to say. And you can see that shift even on this channel. Starting a few months ago, we just go live every Friday. I stopped making constant videos. And then I just break up these lives and put them in the shorts feed just so the shorts feed is being fed. But I have less to say. And I don't want to have to force saying things. But what you start to say, even if it's less, it will carry more weight. Because again, you're grounded and centered. You'll start to stop explaining your boundaries. You'll just put up the boundary and that's it. There's no explanation. There's no coddling people. There's no trying to work around people's emotions. You'll just start making boundaries and that will be it. No sorries attached. And you're not being mean. It's just like, why? Like, why would I not? Why would I be loose with my boundaries? Imagine you're in this mansion, you're abiding in God's mansion that He gave you as an inheritance. That's like keeping the doors flung wide open for the jungle of the world to just come on in and ransack the building. Absolutely not. When you know you're grounded in this pristine, amazing, customized home built from scratch just for you, you're going to have security. You're going to have locks on the doors. You're going to have an intercom system. You're going to have a whole staff making sure no one comes in to steal anything, to destroy anything, to interfere, to squat. There's no squat. We are not accepting squatters in our new home with God. Absolutely not. You know those squatters, those real life squatters. Not like real life, like real squat, like the energy of a squatter. They just come and nestle their way in to your energy and just start feeding off of your energy. This sneaking into the kitchen while you're gone, eating out of your stuff. Like, absolutely not. So you'll just stop explaining your boundaries. Provision will feel calmer. Again, provision will feel calmer, and you will know that provision is here, even if you're not working, even if you're not actively engaged in something. And we should be diligently working at something, putting our hands to something, but that does not determine the provision that flows. It doesn't have to. You can know that you're covered regardless. So that's what happens. And relationships become mutual as well. And you will start to see quality relationships because people will start to reveal themselves to you that are actually supposed to be in your life because you stopped orbiting other people. So it's like you created this space, this spaciousness for people to actually come to you, the right people that God is sending to you. Because you're no longer distracted, because you're no longer orbiting anybody else. So let's quickly do this so we can really lock this revelation in. If you received it today, I pray you do. If you did, type "I receive" in the comments. So at least I know that I'm not just talking to myself. Let me know that you received this and it resonated. I really pray it did. And if you're open, I want you to place your hand. Let's place it on your abdomen because that's where I felt the most shift. It was in my abdomen. I felt like this reorientation. I felt all these butterflies down there when God was reorienting my nervous system as I finally allowed myself to dwell in Him. So I want you to close your eyes if you can and imagine that you are already in the mansion, the dwelling place that God has given you as an inheritance. You're there already. I want you to feel it and let it come into your mind, the most magnificent, beautiful mansion you could possibly think of. I mean, really, according to what you like. Imagine the room that you're in. Imagine the lighting, the time of day, the decor that's around. Hear the sounds around you. Maybe you hear birds chirping. Maybe you hear teacups clinking. Maybe you hear bubbly in the background, sparkling water. Maybe you hear a bathtub water being drawn. Maybe you hear a fountain. I don't know what you hear, but you hear something. Listen for the voices. Maybe you hear children playing and laughing. Realize you're there and you're settled, finally. And tell yourself, I'm not a visitor here. I live here. This is my home. And I want you to feel that being settled in your system. Saying, I'm no longer a visitor here. This is my home. Oh, really? What? It cut off. I don't know where I stopped. We were in the middle of a guided visualization. And I have 5 minutes before my next meeting. So I'm just going to go back and start again because I don't know when that stopped. Imagine you're in the mansion. Imagine you're in the room that's your favorite in this mansion. All the rooms are probably your favorite because it's so perfect. So you don't even need to pick a favorite room. But just imagine yourself sitting there and relaxing there. And as I said before, if you didn't hear me, see the decor, see the colors around you. If there's artwork, look outside the window, see what time of day it is. Like really get locked in to the sensory experience here. Smell the aromas that are in the space. Hear the sounds around you. What sounds do you hear? Feel how pleasant and peaceful and grounding it feels to be here in your home. And I want you to say to yourself, I am not a visitor here. This is my home. I dwell with God here, and He dwells with me. This is my home. I'm no longer unhoused. This is my inheritance, and it's my home. And I'm going to make it my own. Really feel that. I want you to feel the sensations in your abdomen or just in your body. Like, I want you to feel the peace that overtakes you as you settle here. I want you to feel your nervous system completely calming down, slowing down. You have finally arrived home. There's no rush. You don't need to go anywhere ever again. You are here. I want you to feel that. No permission is required for you to be in this home. If you're saved, and if you're not saved, watch my salvation video, Get Saved, so this can be your home. No permissions required. You have access. Think about, you hold the keys. You hold the fob. All the security knows your name because it's your home. No performance is expected from you in this home. Jesus said very specifically in John 14 that He will dwell with you in this home and you will dwell with your Father in this home. This is just your dwelling place, your abiding place. It didn't say you have to perform, you have to work, you have to strive. This is not the place for that. This is the place to abide. So I just want you to feel complete relaxation take over your body. And if you still don't feel it, I want you to take slow, deep breaths so that you can train your body to be relaxed in this moment. And knock your body out of the habit of being alert. You don't have to be alert in this home. Again, you have security. You have legions of angels securing this dwelling place, this mansion. You have so many things surrounding you. Nothing can get to you in this home. So take a deep breath and feel the air go all the way down into your body. Feel it for the first time, maybe, that you've taken such a deep breath. I want you to really feel it. Take it all the way in. And I pray you receive this revelation today. I pray that you play with this now. You get to play in this new home, this mansion. Maybe you used to be a visitor and now you've made it your own today. Maybe this is the first time you ever even heard of this. Whatever it is, you're no longer unhoused. You are housed with God. You are planted with Him. You can abide in Him every single day. You can revisit this place, go explore all the different rooms in the mansion, like explore the grounds. Literally, go back there. This is my meditation. I meditate and visualize and go back here every single day. So you get to do it, and more visuals will pop up for you because you're entering into the heavenly realm, which you have access to through your creative imagination. God blessed us with that. So you get to revisit it whenever you want to, and watch. Things will unfold more and you'll feel more grounded, and watch things manifest in your life. Watch things just start orbiting you. Watch the fruits of this new revelation start to show up and manifest. I pray it does for you. I truly do. In Jesus' name, I pray that you see a difference in your life. And if this teaching resonated with you today, and if you are a woman in leadership specifically, and you are working with high stakes, and you do feel like there's a lot of pressure on you, and you're not always sure how to make practical decisions and execute within the time frame you have to, That's the work I do. I do advisory work, private advisory work with a very limited amount of clients starting this year because I'm no longer doing the work that I used to do with so many clients. God said there are a few women in particular that are high stakes leaders that need advisory support so they can navigate the elevated leadership that I'm taking them to. That's what God said to me. So I'm just passing that message on to you. If you're interested, visit AliciaBradley.com and we can explore if you would qualify for advisory mentorship. I hope this video supported you today. Be sure you like it and subscribe and share it with someone that you think it will bless. I love you. Jesus loves you more. And I'll see you next Friday. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.